This is episode 217 of Zen and the Art of Real Estate Investing with my guest, Adiel Gorel. Adiel is the founder and CEO of International Capital Group, a world-renowned real estate investment firm founded in the San Francisco Bay Area since 1987. Old school like me, Adiel has been teaching investors how to secure a strong financial future for college, business investments, and retirement. Adiel, welcome to the show.
It's a pleasure to be here, Jonathan.
Yeah, I'm very excited to talk to you and get your wealth of expertise on this show because this is the mindful approach to real estate investing. And I know you also do a lot in the wellness space. So it'll be interesting to talk about those as they, go to real estate investing. But when was the first time that you remember being interested in real estate?
Well, in some ways, it was almost forced upon me as a child. I grew up in a family of real estate, developers.
Yeah,
As a child, all I wanted to do was play and have fun. Wasn't interested in what they were doing, but still it was in my face all the time.
yeah,
I was exposed both to the power, and then I was also exposed around the dinner table to two main expressions that my family used to say,
yeah,
both of them accompanied by a certain hand motion. One of them was, why didn't we buy these properties 10 years ago? They could have been so, okay?
yeah,
The other one is, why did we sell 10 years ago? Okay. So I kind of learned, you just buy and you hope.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the classic phrase is buy real estate and wait instead of wait to buy real estate, right? Yeah. So it's similar to me, though. I grew up with a dad who was an investor and he was talking to me before I was interested, but I was really learning more than I thought. Did that also happen for you that you trying to avoid it, but they just wouldn't stop talking about it? So you had more knowledge than you thought when you were ready to go.
Absolutely. And actually, I remember when I was about 16 or 17, my grandfather, who was the head of the development company, started transferring some of those holdings to my sister, to me, to
Yeah.
my brother. And he explained, I'm doing it because of tax reason.
Yeah.
So I started getting that, hey, this is not so bad. In fact, so much so that in hindsight, I wish I didn't do it, because I remember there was one time when I was about 17, very young, and I thought, hey, maybe I'll never have to work. That's not a good thing for a
Yeah.
young
Yeah.
person to think.
I think it helps people see that there are cycles to real estate, just like cycles to everything. So it will help people understand that you still have to be looking now because, like as we're both saying, these rates aren't high historically; they're just pretty actually decent comparatively. So there's no reason to stop looking now. You just have to learn to vet the deals better.
Actually, from my experience in the past few years, there's every reason to be looking now. And here's why. During a COVID, the Fed lowered rates to the lowest place in the history of this country. So the mortgages for a homeowner were as low as 2.5 even.
Yeah,
And for investors, maybe 3.25. Uh, what happened was the media, which makes everything 100 times bigger, started screaming, the rates are the low, go and buy, buy, buy. Millions of people said, I'm going to buy. I wasn't planning on buying, but I'm buying. So what happened was the demand was enormous. The builder, we like to buy brand new homes only. I'll talk about that a little bit later. The builders who build the brand new homes were still suffering from supply chain COVID issues.
yeah,
So
big time.
supply was low, demand was high, so the prices went up. But also the builders said, I can be very choosy. I'm getting much more business than I can handle. Number one, I don't want to work with investors. No investors, only homeowners. That's it. So as investors, during the time that the rates were 3, we had to struggle to buy even one home, let alone 10.
Yeah, and those regular home buyers are always going to pay more than us because we don't want to pay. That's why we're investors.
Not only that, they put only 3.5% down.
Right.
So they're not price sensitive. They're another 10,000, 20, 30, who cares? They're only putting 3% down. So now, when the rates went up, now the media is saying, and everything is 100 times bigger because of the media, don't buy. The rates are atrocious. Sit on the sidelines. So the demand is low. In the meantime, the builders were working hard to make supply higher. So now the builders are so friendly to investors. They love investors. In
Yeah.
fact, we give you gifts, including, ironically, paying down the
Yeah.
rates.
Yep.
So maybe 5 or 4.5, or I've even seen 4. So the most incredible time to buy is right now, because let's say that in the future, I don't know the future, but let's say the rates will go down to 4. I doubt they will go back to 3, but let's say they go down.
Yeah.
The media is going to hype it all up. Millions of people are going to want to buy. Prices are going to go up. The builders are going to want to blah, blah, blah. In the meantime, you already secured an excellent buy. Buying peacefully, buying 1 home, 10 homes, 22 homes, whatever. And if the rates go down, you refinance.
Exactly.
What a wreck.
Yeah, so over the time, especially as rates started to go up at the beginning of that part, I always called it a double windfall because of that. Not only do you say you have to wait 2 or 3 years for rates to come down 1 to 2 points, wow, you not only get the appreciation that we're all getting in America for the last several years, it's almost impossible not to appreciate on real estate if you buy remotely well. Plus, you get the rate that comes down. So that's the double windfall. And that's why it does make sense, exactly what you're saying. If you buy now and you're getting a good deal now, wow, what's it going to look like even 1% lower when you also have gained 50,000 in appreciation? It's like had the light bulb moment to do it. And it does make sense because not only are you staying at a rate here while inflation's going like this, your appreciation is going and going and going in America. It's really crazy. I mean, I have people who bought during the pandemic who are now up $250,000, in just 3 years. That can happen. And that's on top of everything else that's happening.
I agree with everything you just said, but I will make it even more humble in a way.
Yeah.
I don't need appreciation. Forget appreciation. When you buy enough, when you go, we live in a place here, we have Whole Foods, chain of a little bit on the high end side.
Yeah.
You go to Whole Foods today, you buy an organic avocado, $2 and a quarter. And I know, and everybody knows, in 10 years, it's going to be $4. Are the economists going to say there was an appreciation in the avocado sector? No, it's inflation.
Yeah.
I don't need appreciation. You take appreciation. Just give me inflation.
Yeah.
So when I was buying my first homes, even in the San Francisco Bay Area, the very first home I bought cost $110,000. Today, it's worth $2.8 million. I don't call it appreciation, even if you don't want, just inflation.
Yeah.
The avocado back then was probably 3 cents. Now it's $2.25. Right? Same thing.
Yeah, well, I like it because then as an owner who owns something, you can look at inflation and have a positive spin on it instead of going with the news headlines like you said, oh, everything's crazy, look at inflation, we're paying so much more for everything. Yeah, okay, things cost more, but all the things that I own are going up in value as well.
So there's another thing about this getting a loan that never changes in the face of constant inflation. You don't need to do much. See, real estate investors are not free of this. And Silicon Valley type people are not free of this. And I'm both. We love to complicate everything. And we also feel like we have to do a lot of work. Somehow we have to make it hard. So sometimes I get invited to speak to an investment group and I sit there and I wait my turn. And here comes the sophisticated investor and he shares the wisdom. And then I bought a chicken coop and I did a 1031 exchange in the middle of the night to a triplex. And then I did. And then I fixed it. And then all I do is I buy brand new homes. I put a down payment. I get a 30-year fixed rate loan. I let the local manager, I'll talk about that in a second, lease them out. And then I proceed to do the hardest action for a human being to do. Nothing.
Yeah, I was going to say wait. Yeah.
Inflation will make us wealthy. No need the chicken coop and the 1031 and then you fix it and you go and you... No. That's why investing in this manner applies to you whether you are a busy professional, maybe you are a nurse, maybe you are a truck driver, maybe you are a doctor. You can still invest because
Yeah.
you don't have to do anything. Inflation does the work for you.
The key really from everything that we talked about is to be patient and let it be boring, right? I mean, it's not that hard, but people like to tinker with things. They're 3 months in and they're like, "Oh, it's not doing as well as I thought. I better sell it." Wow, that doesn't make any sense. That's the same thing that people do when they, send out mailers for off-market properties and they quit after 1 month. You haven't given it the time to marinate.
What you just said is one of the worst mistakes that an investor can do. Luckily, it's only a very small sliver of people. They bought a home, something happened. The tenant wasn't nice, they left,
Yeah,
they said, that's it, I'm selling. It's an emotional. You paid closing costs buying. Now you pay commissions and closing
right.
costs.
Right.
You've lost money by definition.